without you doing anything that you would call worthy-based or earning-based. You have already set all of that into motion before you even got here. You are genius creators who are liquid love, who are adored by that which you call God, who are an extension of that which we call source energy. And when you decide that you want something, even if you don't put words to it, your decision is good enough. And that is why all species evolve as they do. Don't you think it's a wonderful thing when you think about it, that everyone having experience is in the place of knowing best what's best for them? Jerry and Esther were sitting in a Subway sandwich shop one day, and Esther was reading the wallpaper on the wall. And there was a story about the subway, or the system of transportation in New York City when it was established. And there was a period of time when the system was not working, and the mayor of the city decided that it would be better, rather than trying to orchestrate the plan, they would let the people figure their best way of getting there. And we say it is always best to let those who are out there having the personal experience decide their best way of accommodating themselves. When you accommodate yourself, you know all of the ins and outs of what is important to you. When you ask someone else to take care of you, someone who can't possibly focus with the clarity that you can focus, then sometimes things are missed. And it is that exact premise that we are talking about that causes the evolution of your species and every other species to evolve in the magnificent way that it does. All of this leading edge point of consciousness, having experience and having preference being born, and even if words are not spoken, as in the case of the one-celled amoeba in the ocean, no words are spoken, but vibrational utterance certainly is offered, and source agrees, and the evolution of that species therefore incurs. The difference between the one-celled amoeba in the ocean and the human genius is that when the one-celled amoeba in the ocean offers a preference and source agrees, that one-celled amoeba offers no resistance whatsoever to its own conclusion of what would be better. And so its desire is satisfied immediately, where humans, bless your hearts, often experience a contrasting experience, launch endless rockets of desire, which source agrees with. Circumstances and events are immediately lined up in order to bring you anything and everything that you want. But sometimes you stand still in your justifying position of why you wanted it to begin with. Rather than going with the flow of the new idea, you tend to stay looking at the contrasting experience which made you give birth to the new idea, and you continue to talk about where you are in order to sort of explain why you are worthy, or why you really need the universe to accommodate you more efficiently. We think you got that because for a rather long period of time, you saw your parents as the vortex through which all of your well-being flowed. And you learned that if you could plead a needy case long enough, that your mother would finally cave in and give you what you wanted. But she did a disservice when she caved in, because she showed you something that is not the way the universe works. The universe does not cave in and grant your desires based upon how complaining you are, or how justified you are, or how needed you are. The universe grants your wishes based upon how vibrationally compliant you are, how much in vibrational alignment you are. This is a vibrational universe, and it's based upon law of attraction. And law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. Set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and you will receive the broadcast on 6:30 a.m. You cannot receive what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. They are different frequencies. So when you have launched a rocket that says plenty of more money, and you're beating the drum that says not enough money, your vibrational frequencies are in serious discord, and you are not in the position of receiving what you're asking for. Even though source agrees, even though heaven and earth are moving in order to accommodate you, even though your vibrational escrow, we like that, contrast causes you to launch rockets of desire, and they're held for you in vibrational escrow. And the reason we call it vibrational escrow is because the thoughts that you think are in the process of becoming, and eventually they will become manifestation if your vibrational accord is sufficient enough. First there is thought, then there is thought form, then there is that which you call physical manifestation. So when you launch any thought about things wanted or not wanted, it moves into that which we are calling vibrational escrow, and it begins to amass energy. It begins to take form. Now, you don't have to worry about it immediately manifesting in your experience. You may have noticed that, because more than 99% of your vibrational work is done and your vibrational alignment has taken place before you begin to receive evidence of it. And so you might say that as you're moving through an ornery experience, you're launching all kinds of things into vibrational escrow that when you find vibrational harmony with them enough that they manifest, you're not going to like them. Or you could say, as you're launching thoughts of appreciation and things that make you feel good, you're filling your vibrational escrow full of all kinds of things that are going to please you when you get there. Sometimes we hear you say, "Oh, Abraham, I do not believe that I create my own reality because this thing that happened to me just came out of the blue." And we say, "Hardly. You offered many thoughts about it. You brought yourself into vibrational alignment with it again and again and again and again and again. You worked hard at becoming a vibrational match to what was being held for you in vibrational escrow." So we don't want to give you the impression that vibrational escrow has only things you want in it. It has everything you've put there. And everything you've put there is as a result of what you've been giving your thought to. And so it's up to you now to tone yourself, to tune yourself, to attune yourself, to vibe yourself, to feel yourself, to move up the emotional scale yourself, to feel your way into vibrational alignment with the things you really want. The stream of well-being is huge. In fact, it is the only stream that flows in the sense of creative force. Every thought that you've ever thought still exists. And so we acknowledge that there is a current that is a spin-off of man's conscious thought, and there is plenty of creative juice to create from. But you are pure positive energy. You are source energy in physical bodies, and life is supposed to be good for you. You are supposed to feel good. You knew it when you came. You said, "I'll go into this leading edge environment, into an environment where no one has been before, and I will have experiences with others, similar to me but not same as me, and together, as we bounce off one another, we will arrive at new preferences that could not be arrived at if it were not for our interaction." And that new preference is the leading edge of thought, because in the moment that the new preference is born within me, you said, we said we'd remind you, in the moment that that preference is born within me, all that is non-physical will move toward it, expanding the universe. And then you said, I will be able to tell by the way I feel whether I have joined my own source in my own preference that has been born of my own experience. You cannot notice what is and complain about it and be a vibrational match to the solution. You cannot keep beating the drum of the problem and be a vibrational match to the solution. Do you know that when you were living the problem, you were asking for the solution and Source said yes immediately? So do you know that there's never a reason for you to be wallowing around in a problem for more than about a second? Do you know that you can get so good at this that before you're even aware that the problem has gotten started, you've already got the solution underway? Do you know that as you clean your vibration up, so think about what we just said. So you're moving through contrast and you're observing something unwanted. And in observing that unwanted thing, you launch a rocket of desire for the answer or for the solution, which Source immediately said yes to and answered. So as you immediately turn your attention toward the possibility of receiving an answer, as you soften your angst by expecting things to turn around for you, that 99% that we said that has to take place before there is a manifestation never takes place within you. So even though you may have launched a rocket about a problem, it can never come to vibrational fruition if you're tending to your vibration as you're moving along. This would be the conversation that we would have had with you if we'd met you earlier in your experience, like the day you were born. We would have said to you, Anytime you need anything, it will be given to you. So just stand in a place of expecting all answers to all questions, all solutions to all problems. And don't let those who have forgotten that confuse you. But we're talking to you now after you have become confused by those who have gone before you. And so what we're saying to you now is, you may very well have been beating the drum of unwanted things long enough that some of them have begun to manifest in your experience. But we want you to not worry about that, because even though some of them have manifested in your experience, the solution is well on the way. As Jerry and Esther got into their hotel room last night, and Esther pushed the handle on the toilet, nothing happened. And so, having had that experience before, she knew exactly what to do. She took the lid off the tank and looked in, only to discover that the chain that was hooked to the lever had come off. So, she reached into the very cold water, hooked the chain onto the little lever, pushed the handle, and smiled. I'm a genius, she thought. And then she announced to Jerry that as quickly as she had found a problem, she had found the solution also. Jerry was very proud of her. Then Jerry pushed the handle and nothing happened. So Jerry took the lid off the back of the toilet and looked in, and the chain had come off again, only to discover that the little hole that the chain hooks through was not really a hole at all. It had been broken, and so there was no way of making the chain stay attached. And so they just left the back off the back of the toilet. And Esther said, "Isn't this nice? We can flush the toilet and wash our hands at the same time." In every action that you're taking, there is a concurrent emotional journey that you're taking at the same time. In other words, if you decide that what's happening is not going to be the reason for the way you feel, then you will have a delicious ride through this physical life experience. But if you are needing the conditions to all be fixed so that you can have a better feeling response to the condition, now you're going to have a rough ride, because there are not enough people preceding you who can get enough things fixed that can control enough conditions to just the way you like them. We're visiting with a woman recently who has arthritis in her hips, and it's very painful. A much more unpleasant situation than a toilet that won't flush. And she said to us, "Abraham, how can I think positive thoughts when I'm in such pain?" And we said, "We know it's hard, but you've got to find a way of separating the action part of your life from the emotional part of your life." And what we meant by that is, you have arthritis in your hips. That's just what is, and that's not going to change right now, this red hot minute. It can change in time, but right now that's where it is. You're in pain. But you have choices that you haven't really known that you've had, because you can be in pain and feel fearful, or you can be in pain and feel hopeful. And the vibrational difference between fearful and hopeful is the vibrational difference between recovery or not. The vibrational difference between playful with a toilet that doesn't work and angry with a toilet doesn't work is the difference between finding more things like that that don't work. When you've decided that you're going to be playful and joyful no matter what, and that you're not going to let the circumstances that seem to be appearing around you control your emotion, but you instead are going to control your emotion because you have the ability to focus. You have the ability to choose a lot of different ways of thinking about everything. You can change the subject altogether. You can find a way of thinking of it that feels better. And what we want you to understand is that that is your work. Your work as creator of your own experience is to focus. But how do you know you're focusing if you don't have points of relativity in order to help you focus? How do you know whether you're moving in the right direction if you don't have some way of quantifying your journey?